All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Jujutsu Kaisen Season 1, Episode 10.
I'm a big fan of Nanami.
Yes.
Of
He's
Kento,
wonderful.
The ex-salaryman sorcerer. Also not Kira Yoshikage.
Definitely not.
But if he ever fought, he would absolutely win because he would find their weakness and exploit it to the utmost.
That's right.
Shatterpoint style.
Yes, and he does absolutely keep a rigorous schedule, a lot of structure to his life. But he's also going alone on a mission into what he knows to be a trap, because
he knows is most likely
a trap, because the kids shouldn't have to deal with that.
Right.
Okay.
And Yuji, I would say that Yuji could be a very serious bit of help for him because of Sukuna, actually, and the fact that Sukuna, will probably be willing to help a little bit if it comes into a situation where Yuji could actually die.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's a situation where maybe he needs to help someone else, I could see him maybe not helping.
Right.
But we also have our boy who's with Mahito, Yoshino, who is being set up for a very empathetic, more sympathetic character who's in a rough way and yet just needs a friend. And thanks to the OP, we can kind of tell that he does get that friendship, at least.
Yes, eventually. But right now, he has probably the worst possible person that he could have as an influence on his life. Yeah,
someone who is a curse that is also kind of like human and also kind of like, born from the fear and hatred of humans on other humans.
Right. Because, we've got fear of, forests and the earth and the oceans and all that stuff, and that's cool, and that's where we get Jogo, But towards other humans, that's about as crazy as a curse can probably get.
Yeah, there's probably ways it could get more specific, but in actuality, I would say that's about as scary as it could be, because imagine if you just hate him when you're trying to kill him, and he just gets stronger.
Sure. Sure. Yeah.
All kinds of problems with this. I do not see Nanami actually being able to take Mahito based on what they're setting up here. Mm-mm. Although he did make a point on how, because of the way his ability works, his technique, he can actually land serious damage on those that are a lot stronger. True. Because he is bringing them down quite a bit by just finding out their weakness.
Yes.
And I would say in some ways Mahito's weakness might just be the fact that he seems to have like human memories, or maybe some kind of a connection to a past where he might have been human.
Yeah, he is at the very least directly influenced by humans. So what if you had someone that came up to him totally matter-of-factly, like Nanami maybe, and there was no hatred in their heart towards him? No. Would he actually be able to fight them?
I think he definitely would. Yeah. It's just, of course, would he actually be,
at his full strength
or something? I'm sure he gets along just fine without...
Off of everyone else's hatred in the world.
Yeah, that's been accumulated over the course of time. Yeah. If anything, it seemed like he was just summoned there to the theater because of the hatred that Yoshino felt for the three guys who had been bullying him. And also the fact that they were just talking loudly in the theater.
Yes.
Which is a cardinal sin.
That's right. A special kind of hell.
Yes. Yeah. For those that are, pedophiles.
And people who talk
at the theater.
Firefly quote, in case, you've seen that show. But
so y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. They're doing what we do, but without the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
But they maybe want to... No, that's right. They're in film kind of study and stuff, so... Oh.
Okay.
We have a bitchy body improvement club.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Oh, such a punchable face.
Huh?
What you're stepping on. I love it. It's the act of defiance.
Yep. He might move in a direction you don't like.
Yep.
Specifically towards your face.
Yep. But he still got it.
He still got it. And he might have actually wanted him to do that. Because now he feels extra justified in whatever happens here.
Yep. Oh, I hate it when people smile like that.
Oh, no.
Oh, God.
Well, shit.
No wonder he wants them dead.
Yeah. Damn.
All right. Well.
All right.
Okay. Transfiguration. That's it's not an idle thing.
Oh.
Oh shit.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh. This is cool. Oh, that's a
right.
Good, yeah, that's a good quote. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
No.
だからそれがこの国ではいつの間にか好きに変換されて、
Oh.
愛、無関心の大義が成り立つかどうか
Wow.
Oh, this is
誰も
interesting.
考えずに広まったっていうか、でも僕は人間の醜悪さを知っています。
This fits the image already.
だから
Yeah.
他人に
Wow.
何も期待していないし、他人の死に何も思うところはありませんし、無関心こそ人間の行き着くべき美徳です。
Because
Jeez.
then you're safe.
そんな君が
Yeah, you're anything but indifferent towards those
矛
three.
盾してるって
Yeah.
言いたいんですか？
Well, to be human is
順平は
contradictory.
人に心があると思う
You were the one who said it about hate.
ないん
Yeah.
ですか？
ないよ魂はある
Oh.
でもそれは心じゃない俺はこの世界で唯一魂の構造を理解してるそれに触れることで生物の形を変えているからね
Okay.
喜怒哀楽はすべて魂の代謝によるものだ
So what is the soul consuming then? What is it
人は目に見えない
metabolizing?
ものを特別に考えすぎる見える俺にとって魂は肉体と同じで何も特別じゃない
That's such a cool concept. The idea
Yeah.
of because he's built from their hatred,
He knows it.
he not only knows it, but he understands the composition. Like,
Right.
天地にとっての水のように命もただ巡るだけだだからこそ何をしてもいい
he's trying to say
どう生きよう
liar.
と自由なんだ無関心という理想にとらわれてはいけないよ生き様
Oh.
に一貫性なんて必要ない
Oh.
お腹が減った
Chaos
ら
is the
食
only
べる
thing.
ように憎いなら殺せばいい俺は順平のすべてを
Oh.
肯定するよ
Dang.
Wow.
What an origin for Yoshino this is shaping up to be.
Oh boy.
Even though he
But-
definitely has a whole life and story before this point.
But like,
seems
how
like
do we
we're
get
gonna
from
get that.
there to him smiling in the OP with Yuji?
1呪いを視認できない一般人の場合虎杖君が救助してください
Okay.
All right.
2視認できるが対処する術を持
Also
たない
save
場合
them.
同様に
Yeah,
虎
yeah.
杖君が救
But
助
the third
事件当
option.
日の聴取をします呪術で妖刀を払った場合即時拘束します
Nice. Okay.
力
Okay.
ずくです
Either way,
Can
we
you
end up
use
in a
force?
situation where, yeah, we can use it. Yeah.
4二級術師以上のポテンシャルが吉野純平にあった場合一度引いて七海さんと合流します
Dang. Okay.
2級ならギリなんとかなると思うけどな
二級術師は一級呪霊に近い実力というわけです
なんで俺はそういう大事な情報を知らないの
五条さんが適当だ
He doesn't say that out loud.
No, he can't. Gojo
Yeah.
will hear it probably.
Right.
Or this dumb kid will pass it along that I said that.
なんか自作自演みたいで気が乗らないな
Well, of course, I can't fight at all.
Yeah, you do realize you're like 20 times stronger than me, right?
異形手遅れとはいえ人を殺めるのは気分が
This feels very FMAB, you know? Here's
Yeah.
the professional going, oh, here we go.
Shit.
よかったよかった
Here we go.
But
五条悟が来ても困るけど
Nanami isn't gonna die, is he?
危険にならないからさ
Well, yikes.
残業は嫌いなので手早く済ませましょう
Okay, all right.
Alrighty.
Let's do this. I'm not confident in you, Nanami, but Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, that little brandishing there.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Jeez.
All right. Awesome.
Jeez.
Awesome.
俺ちゃんと受けたよね、呪力で。そういう術式？
そういうとは他人任せな抽象的な質問は嫌い。
Be specific.
魂と肉体、どっちが先だと思う？
Uh-oh.
ほら、あるで
When
しょ
the villain starts pontificating like this.
卵
Right.
が先か鶏が先かみたいな話。肉体に魂が宿るのかな？それとも魂に体が肉付けされているのかな？
Yeah.
聞くしかないか。
I have to listen, I guess, yeah.
前者。
ブッブー。答えは後者。いつだって魂は肉体の先にある。
Oh boy.
肉体の形は魂の形に引っ張られる。
Well then, well.
Lovely.
一般人は形変えちゃうとそのうち死んじゃうけど。呪術師はどうかな？
Oh shit.
17時。今日は10時から働いているので。
I only have 30 minutes left in my shift.
何が何でも
Yeah.
18時には働きます。
That was so badass. And that's so
love
like
it.
Kira Yoshikage. Like,
Yeah.
my shift's over in 30 minutes.
I sleep
so,
at 8:30. You know.
Stop philosophizing, yeah.
さやば西村本田亡くなったって。お前仲良かったよな。
Friends with them.
友達もいないお前をよく構ってやってたろ。
Wow.
それなのに葬式にも出ないで。まったく。
Seriously?
僕があいつらと正気じゃない。
Oh, both eyes out.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Ah!
こいつ見えてるな。
Yep. Yep. Ah! Oh, he's
The
just
curse is
holding
like.
it. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yes, let's see what happened.
虎杖君、玉、誰かいる。
Oh no! Ah!
Wow. Wow.
体操選手。
Yes, a gymnast! That's actually what he
ちょっと
is.
聞きたいことあっからさ、つらかして。ああ、いや、かなり大
Ugh. Rather important.
Yeah.
子供が何言ってるんだ。大体どこのセーフ。
Ah!
何すんだこのガキ。やめなさい。
And then he circles back around.
Yeah, exactly.
なんだ
Yeah, what was... Imagine how confused he would be.
そんじゃ行こうぜ。
That's amazing.
Uh-huh.
もう一
Yep.
周してきたの？
おう、
Oh.
わざわざあんなことしなくても。
でもお前、あいつ嫌いだろ？
Oh.
なんとなく。嫌いなやつにいつまでも家の前いてほしくねえだろ。
Yeah, this guy understands like the little surface
Yeah.
things. Someone who might see you for you, dude.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Just
Just
before
like
he
that, he
became a
might have been-
murderer.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Holy shit, this is awesome.
よく動くね。
Yeah. Nasty. Jesus, this whole place is gonna get crowded.
楽しい。
気にしてなんかいません。
Oh.
仕事
Wow.
に市場は持ち込まない主義。
Oh.
But you still wipe the tear away.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
揺らいでいるよ。
Yeah, he's
It's my
angry.
policy, but sometimes I break policy.
感謝するよ。
Oh shit.
Oh crap.
でも多少は無意識に魂を呪力で。
Oh, okay. Okay,
All right.
good,
そう
good.
でなきゃあんた。
Yeah, I was gonna say the fight would have been over,
Awesome.
right? Yeah.
Oh.
Oh,
Damn.
God, how did he do that? Whoa, whoa.
逃がさないよ。
Yep, use the secret technique. This is not a fight you should try to continue.
Is he gonna try and bring the whole place down on top of him?
Wait.
残念です
Wait.
なんだ
Wait. Wait.
重力が
Wait.
Hold on.
Something
Hold on.
happens after 6 p.m.?
時間がいる
Oh!
He powers up when he's off the clock.
Oh!
I love
Wait,
it.
what?
I love it. It's that times and a half pay, you know?
Yes!
So
He's got like some kind of a condition or whatever that's just like, I can like intentionally segregate a lot of my cursed energy to my off times. But I have to be fighting or enduring something that makes me have to go into overtime.
Right, or like it's like a limited thing, so it's like that's why he's so careful about the schedule, because I don't want to tap into that, you know.
Imagine if his one of his techniques is just storing.
Sure.
Like, that's one of my favorite things about these kinds of shows where it's like, I can unleash blasts of energy. I'm like, where's the guy that's just passively storing his shit? Like,
He already took over the Mistborn world.
right,
you know?
right, yeah, exactly, exactly. Here he is, he's the king. Oh.
パンダ先輩、私の学ラン知らない？ そっか。
Ah,
どこ行っちゃったのか
yep,
な？
I'll have to kill you now. Oh my god.
おい、スカートもねえんだ。
Oh no.
And he's behind the desk. Oh.
Ah!
これモキさんのだ。
Oh, wait.
こんばんは。釘崎。
Ah!
Wow. Oh my
Amazing.
god.
Amazing. Yes. Yes.
Of course.
Oh,
God damn it.
I'm not gonna lie. If the show did not have that,
Mm-hmm.
I would like the characters less. Like, I would just
Straight
like
up,
the characters
yeah,
less.
yeah,
Like, it helps so much to just know that the characters are capable of this stuff. Because the show is funny at points.
Oh yeah.
But it's not anywhere near as funny as it is
Right.
in the...
The show isn't a comedy.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Nanami, you are so freaking cool.
Yeah.
You are so cool, man. The
Like-
fact that he landed such a strong hit and he used the stitches, basically, that are like those lines on him as the, that's a weak point that he can just cut through regardless of the cursed energy that he put up to block there. And then his overtime mode he's shifting into here. Like, he is so cool!
I have said before that I have a very strong positive association with just the cool factor of whenever anyone that's in a suit has to like loosen their tie.
Yes.
You know, right? It's like, oh hell yeah, that's I love it. I love it so much. But the fact that then he's like, no, I'm gonna take it completely off because we're in overtime now, and then he just wraps it around his fist. The aesthetic of that is so fucking cool.
It's
It's
cool.
Oh man.
He's
Oh.
like, I don't care if I bloody my tie, but if I bloody my suit, no, that's unforgivable.
Like,
it's like, oh shit, I've got goosebumps.
This is why, like, we just need more anime characters in suits, right? Like,
I'm with you.
Like,
I'm with you, man.
Just in general, anytime
general,
anytime an anime character is wearing a suit, especially if it's a lady,
and a classic suit. We're talking like the shirt, the belt, the tie, the pants,
a suit that you could imagine
jacket.
actually existing in our world, not like a super overly flamboyant suit,
yeah. Something in JoJo's works every once in a while, but it doesn't hit that
exactly
because we don't have that connection to the fashionistas of the of the world of fashion, you know.
But the idea that this salaryman is like, I'm off at 6, so one way or another,
this is going to be done then.
This is going to be done.
And we didn't realize what he meant was,
I thought
will be done once we hit 6 because that's when I will go into overtime and I charge 50% more. No, I charge 150% more.
Right.
Who knows what this kind of
like
what this does here?
So I thought that it was going to be the overtime would be a clever way that we would make it so that he would survive in a fight that he can't win, where it's the sorry, I'm off the clock now, gotta go, you know, and then he makes some escape or something like that.
Or it gives him basically a like an aura of passivity or some kind of thing that dulls the aggression of it gives him basically a way to protect himself.
Exactly, and then that would be the way that basically we don't have to worry about Mahito being like sort of taken down a notch because he does seem to be the strongest source or curse that's out there right now, right?
Yeah,
like
even though Jogo fought
Gojo.
Jogo fought Gojo.
I know it's
the issue is that we can't properly understand how strong Jogo was because he was facing the strongest Jujutsu sorcerer.
Right. We had the whole thing of him being like 13 or 9 fingers or whatever it was. Sukuna. But
I would say that the weird thing is that we actually have no way of knowing Mahito's strength comparatively to them. All we know is that Jogo is really strong.
Right. But I get the feeling that Mahito is stronger.
Or has the potential to be stronger.
Right, exactly. So it's like, how do we make sure that he's still built up as this mysterious badass, like he's philosophizing, he must be
he's talking about the nature of the soul.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
how, in some ways, he can answer the chicken or the egg question. Because he knows not only just that souls exist, which I love that this story just kind of goes, no. Not only do the souls exist from this magical system kind of thing. But no, it's scientifically, the souls actually do exist. Because there's sometimes a bit of a separation in these fantastical stories where it's like, in the world of magic, these things exist. But in the real world, no, they don't actually have anything there. But this one has a very clear mechanical connection between the real world and the magical world where it's like, no, not only do the souls exist, the bodies don't exist without the soul, and in fact are generated by the soul.
Yeah, it is a very fun exploration of that question that can't really be answered in our world, but it's saying, in this world, this is the answer for it. And it's something where it's like, okay, while there's supernatural aspects of it, of like the body forming around the soul and all that stuff, it's like, all right, I like it. It's a cool explanation, and then it's a way to basically say, while the bad guy is giving exposition about his power, he is also giving world building.
Right.
And some pretty important fundamental world building.
Yeah, and this is kind of the trick of using these types of fights is that you get the viewer to pay extra attention because it's a really entertaining fight, but then you sneak in this constant drip of exposition.
Right.
That is really like critical world building kind of stuff so that we can have context to something like what Sukuna said way earlier of like, yeah, you Jujutsu sorcerers don't know anything about the way cursed energy works, or maybe even
curses
by extension the way the soul works.
Sure. Yeah.
And it is interesting because I think around that time we were seeing him like super healing like Yuji. Like Yuji had lost both arms or something.
Oh yeah, well, and there was the whole point where he lost his heart. And then he regenerated that for him.
So in some ways, we have also now a built-in mechanic as to where most anyone could theoretically heal themselves. Maybe, because cursed energy comes, well...
Right, if Sukuna was able to do it, he was probably doing it through some kind of having an effect on the soul, which... Because with Mahito, if his ability is specifically manipulating the souls of people and also himself, then that makes sense, right? There's that reason for how he's able to do it.
Well, that's the thing that he's basically described here is that when he touches someone, he can physically alter their shape.
Right.
But based on what we know from what he's told us is that the shape of one's body is based around what their soul is like, which means that he is on some level tapping into an individual's soul.
Right.
And interacting with it.
Yep.
When he touched Nanami, though, Nanami put up a barrier of cursed energy to be like, no, that's my soul, no touchy. Which basically was the, okay, because of that, I didn't actually get to
make
interact
contact
with it. But that, cursed energy...
That barrier's only going to hold up for so long, yeah.
Right, but that cursed energy is something that is, well, something that he brings up. So he has to bring it up from probably his soul.
Oh, sure. And he did talk about it almost as if it was like an instinctual thing,
Yeah.
And that could be because it's years of home training.
Trained and stuff like that.
Or it could be something where he doesn't actually have any training to do that specifically because he never thought something like this would come up. But he has enough control over his cursed
soul,
energy or maybe
yeah.
his soul to like a much lesser degree than Mahito, that once he realizes that that's what's at stake, then all of a sudden, it gets protected.
Yeah. I definitely feel like this fight is being used to teach us some ways in which the stakes will be established for even more dangerous encounters with Mahito specifically later, but not just Mahito, curses in general.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I just realized something. So
Sukuna's
Sukuna's agreement with Yuji was that he would not do anything that would kill someone or cause someone to be killed.
Okay.
What if say someone just gets transformed permanently?
But that's not what he does, though, as far as we can tell. You're saying that he probably just can do it because he's,
no, not the
king of curses.
No. But that if Sukuna helps Mahito do it to someone.
Oh.
Because that's what that's where I'm basically like.
They would technically die.
Right, exactly.
The way he's describing is that he leaves them pretty often alive.
Because what I'm
that level of fine-tuned control.
Right, exactly. Because what I'm imagining Sukuna's objective will be is not to do something himself, but that when other people are doing something, he can be a card that he can play to tip the scales, right? Of I'm going to intervene now, and I'm going to abide by the letter of the law of what we have set up in our agreement, right? But it's still going to really screw over Yuji, right?
At some point.
Yeah, or someone else, or whatever.
That's guaranteed. But I also do feel like at some point he's going to engage Yuji from the standpoint of either I have a position of power over you, or just one of I want something from you. So let's set up now another deal on top of the previous deal, which he does not have memory of. So then that compounds on compounds on compounds.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah. If Yuji doesn't have any memory of the previous deal, he could theoretically continue making deals and then wiping memory afterwards, as long as there's some. And Yuji would just be like, "Oh yeah, I seem to have this incredible luck that whenever I get into these, debacles and tight spots and situations, Oh, what do you know?
And that's a fun plot armor thing for your protagonist as well.
Right. Where it's just, there will be a cost that will, you will pay it eventually, but not necessarily right now.
But to Yuji, I love that that's probably not also a big deal as well, because he kind of sees his goal as being, I want to die a good death. So
oh, sure, that too.
It's not really a thing that's that big of a deal as long as he helps a bunch of people. Which, by the way, Yuji perfectly coming in clutch at the perfect time.
That was so good.
Even the whole thing of the party's plan of we'll have these four conditions
options,
and then these specific choices that will be made if those happen.
Oh no, shit! It got out.
Just
and he's
got
talking
out
to somebody,
and then you have to just run after him. I loved the sequence of events here because the teacher, I bought way more than the bully students.
Yeah,
because the bully students they're practically just evil. Like there's an aspect of what I would call indifference in this case here that the bullies don't really show.
Sure,
they show a level of what I would call more malicious intent. They came in here and saw that they were, having their club room here, which they go, "Hey, this is our club. You guys should get out of here, you cockroaches." The response is just disgusting.
Yeah.
But their initial offense is based around something that they probably had some agreement with them, and they stayed too long, or what have you.
And maybe it was an agreement based on coercion of we want this, so get out.
But they were intentionally just trying to bluster, and then they leave, probably thinking if we just leave like this, we'll be fine.
Yep, and they were right.
And they were right. But Yoshino, I love this. He's got some spirit. He goes and he's like, no, I'm going to specifically grab the thing that's under his foot and be like, I want that one.
Yeah, which is wonderful because it's both showing the way in which he's fighting back in what little way he can.
Even though it's dumb. He's going to get his ass beat.
But in another darker way of looking at it, he is specifically antagonizing the people to make sure that they do all the awful things that he knows they're capable of to him specifically.
To him that
so
they are
that he feels
people.
Justified hating them and wanting them dead.
Yeah, totally. I very much vibe with that.
It's something where he's grown attached to his own hatred because it's what keeps him warm at night.
Well, I mean, these guys are
they're
dickweeds.
Oh, absolutely, and very, very hateable, right?
Yes.
But he is also making his own life more difficult in a way that he is not fully able to handle, or the way that he is handling it is not healthy, shall we say.
Well, right. He's in a powerless situation where he does not have the capability to bring others into this and actually have them take it seriously.
So he lashes out in every way he can, and then
he loses.
And he loses, yeah.
But what I really love about the teacher, though, is the teacher does not actually have necessarily any info that he's getting bullied.
No.
This is the thing that's really rough about this, is that the teacher I absolutely buy as someone who is gifted with, in some level, a bit of ignorance necessary on some level.
Sure. Yep.
Now, it wouldn't take a genius to notice that the ones that he was hanging out with, quote unquote, are actual bullies.
Especially if when he doesn't come to school very often, but when he does say he's beaten up to shit, it's like
bruised and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't take a lot of indifference, I would say, to come to those to be well shielded, I would say.
He could absolutely be willfully ignorant, but he doesn't have to be.
Yeah, and that's where it gets so juicy.
Yep.
Is then you see him making these assumptions that are,
hey, maybe don't making comments about like, oh, because you lost your mind because of your self-isolation so much. It's like, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But that's but there was you could tell that there probably wasn't any or much malicious intent, with that.
It was indifferent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And are you sure indifference is indifference...
it tied perfectly into the previous conversation that Yoshino had with Mahito.
Mm-hmm.
But what I really loved about this was, with the bullies, there was almost something kind of like, how to describe this? The way that he looked at the specific one, they made him look like the typical almost shonen protagonist. He had like a kind of a serious, kind of a grim look about him, but he just looked like a regular high school boy in an anime.
Right, focusing not on the one that's the...
yeah, exactly. Yeah. But in the teacher's case, they chose a literal ugly bastard.
Yep.
They made him literally just a, kind of guy. And the words that Yoshino was mumbling, oh my God.
Yeah.
The fact that he basically called this one like just a grown child, just stumbling around in here.
And the thing is, I kind of agree.
I kind of agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then we have the most hilarious dumbass child in this entire anime.
Yep.
Bumblefuck his way into this and stop our boy from becoming a murderer, because one of the things that we know based on the way that Gojo fought was that when you do this move right here, this is like
You're
a
about
universal
to ruin someone's day.
Right, but this is like a universal jujutsu sorcery technique move here.
Right. He just got his levels in Warlock and he was about to invoke his patron.
He was about to invoke his Eldritch Blast and use it there. And this guy has 4 hit points, dude.
Right.
And, I'd say Yoshino has at least a +3 charisma, so it doesn't matter if he rolls a 1 or not. This guy's going to die.
Yeah.
And Yuji, being able to tell that he hates the guy, still stopping him from doing this, not dragging Yoshino away from the situation,
right?
But removing the teacher from the situation in a very non-violent way that has no hatred or malicious intent behind it.
But it is also showing Yoshino a way of expressing hatred that does not involve violence.
Yes, exactly.
Because the biggest issue that I think Yoshino has here is that he hasn't truly had a way to be able to speak his
process
mind.
and express him.
Right, because when he does, it's in things like, hey, move your foot, this is mine. I'm going to, even if I'm going to, basically be forced to leave, right, and you've ruined our day and all that stuff, you're not going to take this from me too, right? And that didn't go very well, right? So how does he actually express this? Well, it bottles up and then he ends up killing someone who didn't even directly have anything to do with all of that stuff. Now, was that teacher being an absolute dick? Absolutely. Definitely not kill over, right?
Definitely not. And so then nothing near what the bullies were doing.
Nothing near what the bullies were doing. So Yuji comes along and is like, you kind of hate this guy. All right, cool. Yep. He reads the situation, doesn't fully know what's going on though, and then just pantses the guy and runs off with his pants.
And makes the circuit exactly what we were thinking was going to happen.
Oh, man.
And then comes back around and is like, so, shall we go?
Which
is like, what?
I love, too, because it's also something where he's like, all right, this guy probably can't run very fast or very long. I can use that. I can
use that. I love how simple it was, how simply it was handled. But also, I love that he still kind of followed along with the plan. and he used his natural, I would say, bubbly energy to get the kid to talk
Yeah.
to him.
Mhm.
And what's really cool about that is that, well, it kind of feels like the classic extrovert claiming the introvert.
It really does.
Yoshino just really needs to talk this stuff out with someone.
Who's
Like, he
not
needs
a
therapy.
psycho murderer
Yeah.
zombie thing,
Yeah.
whatever Mahito is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is maybe the thing that is a bit of a trope, I would say, in the battle shonen kind of side of things.
Power of friendship kind of like...
No, hold on. Let me finish what I'm
Okay.
saying. Is that you need a weak character for the main character to protect.
Ooh, sure. Okay.
But the thing is about Yoshino is that he's actually not weak. He has his life being trapped in a state of powerlessness, but he's not weak. And
right.
I
He's
would
starved,
say,
if anything.
Yeah, if anything, he doesn't have something to where he can actually, I would say, rely on other people.
Yep.
He needs just someone that he can just lean on. That in of itself doesn't make him weak. He was about to literally kill the guy.
He needs to be allowed to be weak.
Yes,
he hasn't
exactly.
been able to, right?
Right.
Because he's been in situations where strength is all that's needed, and he didn't have enough of it.
Yeah, he keeps basically bumping into, unfortunately, the strong, like the really strong.
Right.
In some ways, the strong in numbers.
Sure.
Where I'm sure if he kicked one of them in the dick and ran away, he'd be pretty good for all things considered.
If he's fast enough.
If he's fast enough. You
Yeah.
know, most people, when the adrenaline of panic hits the adrenaline of fucking hate you, adrenaline of panic beats adrenaline of I don't really like you.
Well,
so
it's that picture of the person going on the bicycle, and it's like some days you find your motivation, other days motivation finds you, and the grizzly bear is like chasing the cyclist,
and then they go 30 miles an hour on their bike, on a flat surface.
Right. But
okay. If Yuji, who is really strong, our protagonist, our protect boy, bumps into Yoshino, who needs some big protect energy, I would say.
Yep.
But I would say also needs to be given a place where his expression of his hatred, his anger, his sadness, all of that can be put out. And it's not going to be viewed as weakness. It's going to be viewed as him being strong enough to let it all out.
Yep. Because that's one of the things that I absolutely love about Mahito being introduced in this story and what he represents as the curse that is the personification of all of mankind's hatred towards each other, or another way of putting it, itself. If you look at mankind as one entity.
Yeah. A collection of souls on a
right.
network,
It's easy for people to talk about negative emotions, right? And it's negative emotions, right? And there's
emotions are negative.
Right, there's reasoning to that, right? Because they're you don't want to wallow in those, right? No. But they do serve their purpose, right? And the purpose doesn't have to be a bad one, right? A lot of bad things can happen when you act on those negative emotions in extreme ways, like Yoshino was about to do, but having them and
expressing them
is healthy. It's
not
healthy,
a bad thing,
because emotions aren't supposed to last more than a couple minutes.
Yeah.
And the way that they actually last for a long time is if you don't let them out.
Yep.
Right? Because then you just hold on to them and then they can't actually run their course.
And based on what we know of some aspects of the soul's mechanics, is that emotions are the after effects of the soul's metabolization.
Oh, sure.
Which means that on some level, either your soul is wearing thin,
right,
it's metabolizing itself, or the natural extension is it's metabolizing whatever's around it, which happens to be your body. So your literal physical capabilities as a person lessen because you are allowing your soul to drain you and suck you dry. And that's literally what we know of even in the real world with regards to emotions that you basically keep bottled up and you don't find a way to healthily process them. They will actually hurt your physical life.
But since Mahito mentioned metabolism, I'm going to bring something up. So that's kind of, it relates everything to, it's making the allusion to physical health, right? With physical health, if you do something that breaks your body down, right? Or if your body starts to metabolize something, that's not a problem
Nope.
if you make sure that your body is fed.
Yep.
Right? Because then it gets fuel. The metabolism process is good, right?
It is.
It is there for a reason, right?
It's a cycle.
Yeah, it's a cycle. You know, constant breakdown
Waste is
and
dumped out.
Yep, exactly. Get
And
rid of
the
the
good
bad
stuff
and
gets integrated.
Just keep processing, right?
Yep.
That's Yoshino hasn't been getting fed, right?
Ah, yeah.
So his soul is metabolizing, right?
Nothing.
But it's running on empty. It's running on fumes, right?
Right.
And so, as a result of that, he was about to do something that was an expression of just how thin and worn out his soul had gotten, right? And then all of a sudden, here comes
Mr. Limitless Energy.
yeah, and I mean, you know, it's cheesy,
but it's so adorably cute in the way that he basically just instantly did we just
become best friends?
Like the first step to becoming best friends,
right?
Yup.
and I think the reason it's cheesy is because, well, yeah, it's done a lot, right? But the reason that it works is because sometimes it can be that simple.
Yes.
Right? Where Yoshino is not in a place where he can help himself, really. He doesn't know how. He hasn't gotten a good example of that. You know, we don't even know anything about his parents, really. Like, I don't think.
Right.
And he has all this horrible stuff happen to him. Yeah, he is beyond his limit right now.
Mm-hmm.
But then someone comes along and is like, hey, that guy getting pants, that was funny, right? Wait, did Yuji just make it so that Yoshino, even if he didn't actually laugh right here, but maybe found it a bit funny, the situation that was, until recently, so serious he was going to kill the guy.
Ah.
Now, you know, if Yuji had been laughing at a situation, that would have been a problem. But he did something that, you know, cut that tension.
So now they can go have picnics and hang out together.
Yep, and we can get that OP wonderful wholesomeness and all that, and it'll be great.
And I want to make a prediction here. I want Mahito to get summoned in the midst of a group of friends that Yoshino is surrounded by, as Yoshino is processing his hatred, his rage, his frustrations, and his emotions. And Mahito's like, come with me. And Yoshino's like, looks around and goes like, no, I don't think I will.
Yeah. I
really would love that.
That would be awesome. That would be so really awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
The other thing that I want, and this is fan fiction-y type stuff. But Yoshino and Yuji. No. So Yoshino has had a bunch of bad examples of people that are strong in his life and using that strength against him.
Yes.
Right? Now, Yuji is strong, right?
He is the fucking strong.
He is the fucking strong. But we got reminded of something this episode.
Oh.
Because Panda spinning Nobara around. Now, Nobara.
Yeah.
I want to see Yuji get a big old bear hug from Panda. Big, fluffy, also strong Panda.
He's not cute, he's dangerous.
Yeah, he's dangerous, right? And for there to be a point where then maybe he does get swung around by Panda, but it's not any kind of bullying or whatever. And
wait, you said Yuji.
Or
Yoshino.
You meant Yoshino. Yeah.
I'm like,
you're like, right. Why? You're like,
who cares?
Yeah, who cares about Yuji? Yeah, no, Yoshino. Yeah, because that I love Panda and I don't know, yeah.
In Russia, Yuji swings Panda.
right.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
We stream every weekday. The info's in the description.
Yes, if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
next time.